Afternoon. It's Wednesday, June 16th, 2022, and I'm back with another twin flame Brittany. I'm Brittany. I'm a psychic and a healer. I'm a Taurus sun, an Aquarius moon, and a Virgo rising. So, yeah, with that being said, let's jump into the reading, shall we? But remember, I use she for divine feminine and he for divine masculine. So, the deck could be used for divine feminine will be the divine feminine oracle. That's self evident, of course. So, yeah, I already pre shuffled. So let's see what's going on with Divine Feminine. So Lakshmi. So what I am definitely getting for you, Divine Feminine, is that well, I do see that Divine Feminine, she is concerned about her abundance. And I feel like this abundance at the moment, yeah, it's what's driving Divine Feminine. I feel like Divine Feminine is more concerned about money. She may feel the need to actually quit her job and search for another one, or she's just coming up with new ways to make money. But I do feel like Divine Feminine wants to actually expand her horizons. She wants to. I do see that there could be a Kundalini rising going on with Divine Feminine, so her consciousness is expanding, and she's seeing that she just. I feel like she's actually nipping poverty consciousness in the bud. So I feel like Divine Feminine is also attracting all sorts of good fortune. I do also see that Divine Feminine is also leveling up. So I do see root chakra activations going on for Divine Feminine. So I feel like Divine Feminine is for the most part stable mentally. She, after like the past couple of weeks, I feel like Divine Feminine is actually realizing why a certain cycle had to end. And it could be a cycle when it comes to love, it could be money, it could be home life, whatever the cycle may be, Divine Feminine. But I feel like Divine Feminine just is realizing that this cannot go on. I feel like, again, Divine Feminine is making abundance a priority because she wants to provide for herself. She wants to be independent. And I do feel as though citrine could be something you should carry right now, Divine Feminine. It doesn't have to be. I'm also seeing sunstone, also tiger's eye, black obsidian, snowflake obsidian, black tourmaline. And I do feel like, again, Divine Feminine, this is the time to be grounded and center. I feel like the Divine is actually giving you a lot of downloads about how to achieve said abundance. And I also see that the Strawberry Moon, which was yesterday, actually helped Divine Feminine let go of what no longer serves her. And I do feel like, again, it's in relation to abundance. The next card is the Kini, the Enlightened Feminine. So I feel like Divine Feminine is trusting her gut instinct at the moment. I feel like, again, she's no longer questioning it. I do feel like she still has a little slight prowess when it comes to need to know, but I do feel like it's more like related to trust issues, because I feel like Divine Feminine, you're still questioning the divine every now and then. You don't exactly see what the divine plan is. And you might be wondering, wow, how do I know if it's best for me? I do feel like, again, there's this inner child trauma coming up when it comes to trust issues. It's particularly, I hear, either the mother wound or the father wound, but it could be both wounds that are inflamed right now. And I also see ancestor trauma coming up to the surface. So I feel like, again, Divine Feminine could be either male or female, but honestly, I feel like it's more like the female in the family. It could be the mother ancestor trauma or the father, but I do feel like, again, there is like some sort of disregard for intuition and I feel like a need to comply. So I feel like, again, Divine Feminine is rising above people pleasing, and she is no longer going to turn to other people for advice. If everybody agrees on a said topic, then Divine Feminine in the past would have actually with the majority, but now Divine Feminine is just learning how to trust her intuition. And I also see that Divine Feminine is like realizing that how do I say it? She's realizing that the divine does have her best interest at heart. She is realizing that seeing isn't believing is seeing. So I feel like, again, this is why this consciousness is expanding right now. I also feel as though Divine Feminine is embracing unity consciousness. She is seeing that her and Divine Masculine are one, and there's no need to worry about what he's doing, what exactly is he out to achieve, how does he feel about her. I feel like Divine Feminine is certain that Divine Masculine loves her, and that's all she needs to know. and he will do everything he can to contradict that reality, but divine feminine knows the truth. And I do feel like divine feminine is also setting boundaries right now. She's not going to let divine masculine disrespect her, and no longer will she let him drink from her cup without giving back. So I feel like, again, divine feminine is also working on receiving issues and also intuitive blocks. And the next card is Chao Su Ching. If I said that wrong, don't butcher me. I do feel like, again, divine feminine has actually achieved inner peace, and this inner peace has a state of detachment. So I feel like, again, divine feminine, you may be wondering why are you so unconcerned about your divine masculine. I just feel like, again, you've got to the point in the journey where you're entirely focused on yourself. You don't exactly need to have the divine masculine in your life to accomplish great things, and you've done stuff without them. And I feel like, again, divine feminine, you are officially in the runner energy. I feel like, again, you're running away from your divine masculine at the moment, because not because to punish him, but because you just want peace, and you don't feel like divine masculine is going to step up at the moment and give you that peace. You love him, yes, but you love yourself more, and you're not going to let your inner child be hurt again. You're protective over your inner child. And I feel like, again, you're actually entertaining a soulmate anyway. And I do feel like this soulmate is treating you right. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why you got in so much peace and clarity. And even though the soulmate situation is like going a little bit slower than you expected, you're at least trusting the divine when it comes to that. Because you're learning more truths. You're healing in a lot deeper level. It seems like you're not healing right now, divine feminine, but I feel like, again, you're healing. And I do feel for like several of you, there are entities and attachments on you. So if you do entity clearing, you'll be able to reconnect with your intuition better. I feel, of course, your intuition is good enough as it is, but it can be even more on point, divine feminine. And of course, I'm also feeling as though you're also healing past lives when it comes to a past life where you feel like the divine betrayed you. And I don't exactly think that the divine's never betrayed you. I feel like, again, you just lost faith. And now, divine feminine, you're recovering your faith. Your psychic powers are also expanding. I feel like, again, clairaudient, clairgustance, clairtangency, clairvoyance. Not so much claircognizant, but I feel like, again, those that are psychic senses that are related to the five senses are being heightened at the moment. And the next card is Shimoja, so the goddess of all that flows. So I feel like divine feminine is tapping into her creative energy. I feel like, again, divine feminine was very lethargic in the beginning of June, but now she is like very much in a flow state. She is full of energy. I feel like she feels very she feels vitality, and I feel like she feels the need to create. I feel like, again, divine feminine has so much love to give, and I also see that heart chakra activation is going on for divine feminine. So I feel as though divine feminine, you're learning exactly how to utilize your unconditional love for humanity and to actually spread that love around without sacrificing your self. So I feel like, again, boundaries are still being erected by divine feminine, and I do feel like divine feminine is saying goodbye to family members. I feel like family members are vibing out of alignment for divine feminine. So there could be some mother issues going on. Could also be father issues, but I feel like the majority is mother issues. So I feel like, again, divine feminine is being more comfortable with what it means to be not just a woman but a divine feminine. And she is realizing that divine feminine is relative to what she feels is divine feminine, not exactly what is society standard, what a female should be, which is usually the karmic feminine. So I feel like divine feminine is having all this anger come up, all this hatred, and I feel like, again, it's like a massive purging from the ancestors. So I feel like the ancestors are guiding you on this, divine feminine. They want you to reclaim that femininity that was frowned upon in the past. They want you to reintegrate it in the modern day and into the family line. Because, again, they want you to be free. They didn't have the chance to be free when they were growing up, but they won't begrudge you for you to reclaim your freedom. And I feel like divine feminine, the truth is that you're already free. So I see that there's freedom blocks that are being revealed. So I feel like again the divine is like saying, you know what, divine feminine, you in many ways you have actually made your own prison. You're able to break free if you want to. And here's the key. So I feel like divine feminine is going to bust herself out. And I also see there's throat chakra activations going on. So I feel like divine feminine is having a hard time articulating what she's feeling, much less I feel like again she's an empath, divine feminine, and I feel like she feels everybody's emotions and absorbs itself. So I feel like again, divine feminine could be a little bit congested in the energy body. So this is the time to be self-care, divine feminine. And I feel as though, put yourself first. You've been doing that already, but again, a reminder card for you, divine feminine. And what I also see is that divine feminine is also, she's still actually doing a lot of self-care. She's beautiful in her hair. So I feel like some divine feminines have cut their hair. They probably got a manicure, pedicure, or do something with their appearance that is very feminine. So I feel like again, divine feminine is actually rocking a new look. And the next card is Kuan Yin. So I feel like again, divine feminine is free of her. I wouldn't say free of her suffering, but I feel like again she has reached the other side. She has been suffering for in some sort of stoically, and she thought it was dark night. So I don't think it's a dark night. So I just think there's a wellspring of emotion that is coming up, and it is mostly ancestral hatred and feeling wronged. It also could be self-punishment, also self-betrayal. But I do see it now that divine feminine is like saying, I want to be true to herself. She no longer cares about what people think of her. And I do feel like again, divine feminine is having unconditional love for those who came before her, because she's realizing they did the best they could. No longer will she feel like she has to work within the perimeters of society. Divine feminine is now relishing being an outcast, a pariah, and that has actually empowered her. And I do feel like the divine feminine is still maintaining her kindness. I feel like divine feminine is being kind to herself right now and being gentle. She's being non-judgmental with her emotions now. Before, she used to have a hard time purging, and that's because she chided herself for feeling so negatively about other things. But now divine feminine has realized that negativity is not a bad thing. In fact, it is what empowers her, and that's what the dark feminine. And she's realizing that darkness could be gentle, darkness could be compassionate, and the only reason why the darkness gets so much bad rep is because of the societal construct of good and evil. And honestly, darkness could be used for good. And honestly, it's all about perspective. And now divine feminine is seeing that it's not a tool. Darkness is only labeled as evil because people are telling us it's evil, but darkness is a tool. And divine feminine is seeing that she has a tool she needs. Sure, they may be frowned upon, but again, it is useful to divine feminine. You know that you're walking your own journey, divine feminine. And the next card is Green Tara, the Buddha of enlightened action. So I feel like again, divine feminine is getting enlightened about her next move. I feel like again, divine feminine. I feel like after feeling so lethargic, indifferent, you feel alive again. And now the divine is like saying, you passed this test, child. Now we're going to show you what exactly needs to be done. And I feel like again, divine feminine is like saying, okay, I trust the divine. So I feel like again, you're trusting the divine more and more and more. And I do see that crown chakra activation is going on. So again, divine feminine, your connection to source is strengthening. You're realizing that the divine does love you and it's never abandoned you. And it's just all in your head because again, you're just working on that programming, and people in the past are not connected to the divine. You are connected to the divine always, divine feminine. It's just again, sometimes you're carrying energy that is not yours, and it is not your responsibility to carry the burdens of those. That's why your ancestors are coming in so strongly, because they want you to know it's okay, it's all right. And if you just, I feel like some of you might be over emotional, wanting to cry. And I feel like again, it is your ancestors. You've healed your ancestors' spirits on the other side, and they are sending you unconditional love and thanking you for freeing them for their illusions. And I do see that, yeah, divine feminine, follow your heart. Your heart is never wrong. And but do take your brain with you, of course, because again, ego gets a bad rep, but ego is how we navigate this world. It's not about defeating the ego, divine feminine. It's about integrating your soul and ego and switching between both accordingly. Because again, we are human beings having a spiritual experience. So what I am seeing for divine feminine, the patroness of miraculous healing, I feel like a lot of downloads are coming in. Divine feminine is being shown that more powers are coming up. So I feel like divine feminine has a new inventory, and this inventory has new abilities, mostly healing. So I do see that divine feminine, that you could be doing Reiki, you could be doing lilac healing, theta healing, quantum healing, Christ force, light language. It matters not, because again, this is just your toolbox. This is what you use to create. This is what you use to make your impact on the world, divine feminine. And I do feel as though you're leaving quite a legacy. And I do feel like, again, you'll be immortalized for being a revolutionary. Because again, divine feminine, in your head at the times, you know exactly. You've been on this earth many times. You have incarnated so many times. You have died for your mission. You know in your bones that you are, what you believe in is worth dying for, and you will not hesitate to do it again. Of course, I feel like, again, most of you guys are just dedicated, and some of you are fearful but still dedicated. But again, there are two emotions that we feel: fear and love. Yes, fear could be divided into subcategories in love, but again, at the same time, we all come back to source. So yes, divine feminine, I feel like, again, your spirit guides are talking to you a lot more. I feel like your connection to the 5D has strengthened. I feel like your divine masculine higher self is around you, showering you with unconditional love. And we'll see in a moment what exactly are they going through. But I do see that you're seeing that you are the miracle. You don't need a miracle to actually make things happen. Like external miracle. You stop looking outside of yourself, divine feminine, and you're realizing that you're worth it. So yeah, that is it for divine feminine. So let's see what's going on with divine masculine. So the deck that we're using for divine masculine will be Seasons of the Witch Yo Oracle. So yeah, the first card for divine masculine will be Remembrance in reverse. So I do see that divine masculine is in the dark night of the soul right now. He's very dismissive and apathetic toward the world right now. I feel like he's numbing himself with either alcohol, could be weed, also any sort of drug. But I feel like, again, divine masculine is addicted to his own pain right now. I feel like that he uses this to punish himself, and I feel like he feels very bad about abandoning divine feminine. I feel like now he feels that he's thinking about divine feminine a lot more, a little bit excessively, so to say, and he can't get her out of her mind. And he's wondering what the heck is going on. I was okay without her. I've always thought of her from time to time, but not to this degree. And he's trying to get her out of her head. He feels he doesn't want to remember the past. And I feel like divine masculine may have backstabbed divine feminine in the past. He may have actually, he could have actually thrown to the wolves. I don't see, or just chose by choosing someone over her, or probably, but some sort of misunderstanding. But whatever the thing is, it was something small. And divine masculine has only made it so big because of his pride and his ego. And I do see he's clinging on to his illusions at the moment because he doesn't want to feel this part again. He doesn't want to remember the divine feminine. And I feel like he's actually renounced this part of him for a while because he just doesn't feel, he feels like that part of him doesn't exist anymore. But it does exist. Divine masculine is being called back to his authentic self. And I do feel as though the karmic is sensing him withdrawal. And I do feel like the karmic is wondering if it has anything to do with divine feminine. But I think the divine masculine is actually he's just not engaged in his life. He feels as though his life is hollow, meaningless, and he's adrift. And the next card is the darkest hour. So I feel like the strawberry moon is also giving the divine masculine some clarity. And I do think, again, this clarity is having divine masculine realizing that he is holding on to a life that no longer serves him. And I feel like divine masculine does want change in his life, but he's actually working within the confines of his societal norms. He feels like he has to do this with the karmic, he has to do that, but the divine is like saying this is not true. I feel like if there's a child involved, the divine masculine is thinking about waiting until the child's over to actually break it off for the karmic, but the divine is like saying no way. I feel like the divine is knocking at the door to the divine masculine and saying time's up, time's up, time's up, and divine masculine is like saying give me more time, give me more time. I feel like divine masculine is procrastinating coming toward divine feminine because, again, he's just thinking, why exactly does she mean so much to me after all this time? And I do feel like he dreams about her. I do feel like his psychic powers are opening up right now. He's becoming more in touch with his intuition. And his intuition is showing him what exactly does divine feminine mean to him. And I think this is too intense for him. He's remembering his old feelings for divine feminine, and they're coming up to the surface. And it's too much for him to take. And yet he's always loved divine feminine. I feel like, again, he still considers her important to him, regardless of what's everything that's gone down. And what's happened to divine masculine is that he's seeing that I'm seeing crown chakra activations going on, so I feel like, again, divine masculine might be getting headaches. I feel like there's a lot of neck pain, so I feel like he's not being flexible. He's being rigid and traditionalist. But I feel like, again, if he's still trying to believe in that conformity is the answer, he's going to be mistaken because he's been denying who he is for a very long time because he feels like it's the only way to survive in the world that he has chosen. But that world has never been his world. The world that he longs to belong to is the one that he has the divine feminine. But he thinks he's not good enough because I feel like divine masculine was already on a dark path when he met divine feminine. And I feel like he ran away from her because I feel like her goodness actually brought up his goodness. And he didn't want to actually be reminded of who he was. And I feel like, again, divine masculine is realizing that divine feminine in many ways is his light. And he's always saw her with amazement. He's always admired how thoughtful, considerate, kind, genuine, authentic she is. He's always admired that she's always stayed true, marched to the beat of her own drum. She never went with the crowd. She's always a non-traditionalist. And he's wondering if he could be as brave as her, or if maybe such bravery doesn't exist. And I do see contemplation. So divine masculine is reflecting about this relationship with the divine feminine. I feel like he's actually remembering the memories that they had together, and it's getting him a little bit teary-eyed. He's seeing this situation with rose-colored glasses, and I feel like, again, the divine is like saying, just make a move toward her, make a move. And divine masculine is slowly but surely making movement. He's realizing that divine feminine is the answer. And divine masculine has him wandering around in the dark, wondering why exactly does he feel unhappy? Why exactly why can't he catch a break? Why does things have to be hard to the karmic? But then he's starting to realize that he is making things work that are not meant to work. And he has to let things fall. And I think that scares divine masculine because he's used to making things happen. He believes in the power of his own hands. And he believes fate is his to control. So the thought of actually submitting to a higher power is scaring the shit out of him. Because, again, divine masculine has major trust issues. I feel like, again, his arrogance is blinding him to the fact that he's forgotten where he's come from. So I feel like divine masculine is returning to his roots slowly but surely. So I also see that he's being purified as well. I feel like, again, the love that he's sending divine feminine and 5D is purifying both of them. So I feel like, again, there is walls around their heart. The walls around their hearts, and now these walls have come down, and I feel like the twins are actually communicating to each other in sleep. There could be lucid dreaming going on. There also could be some astral travel, but I do see again. There's also could be some telepathy going on, because I feel like the divine masculine still reaches out to the divine feminine telepathically, but he doesn't get why though. It's just something that's always brought him comfort. But I feel like again, divine masculine is becoming aware that he's actually there is more to this power than he believes. So no, he's not exactly in the ego anymore, but he's not exactly in the soul either. So he's midway through his transition, divine feminine. So what I am seeing for divine masculine, yeah, spirituality is becoming more and more interesting for him. I feel like he's awakening at the moment and actually researching all about his gifts. So I feel like divine masculine is wondering if this is what divine feminine was talking about when she said there's a whole new world out there. And I do see that he's intoxicated, but he doesn't exactly see why divine feminine would want to join forces with them. He feels yeah, again, I feel like he's in this, he could be descending to spiritual ego, but I feel like again it's more like divine masculine is being remembering where he's coming from. He's on that path. And the next one is merriment. So I feel like again divine masculine is actually the family may want him to make things permanent with the karmic, but I feel like again he's distancing himself with his family. He doesn't exactly agree with the family values, because divine masculine's always marched at the beat of his own charm in some way, and he's not going to tie himself down to someone he doesn't love. And I feel like the karmic is pressing for an engagement, but I feel like divine masculine is saying no, 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 no. There are other ways he feels like he doesn't want to marry her. But I feel like again he wants a relationship with the benefits of being in a relationship. So I think he's just doing this for image. But I do feel like divine masculine feels really depressed. I feel like his depression is worsening, and I feel like again even his addictions are not able to keep him afloat. I feel like again divine masculine's work performance is slipping at work, and I feel like he's being a little bit negligent with his health. And I do see, yeah, divine masculine could be sick right now, but I feel like it's more like divine masculine is just not taking care of himself mentally. He's burned out, he's tired, and he just finds no joy in life anymore. And I feel like again he's trying to force himself to be happy, but he knows deep down inside that he's not happy. And I feel like he feels envious of divine feminine, because divine feminine gets to be whoever she wants to be and not be judged, while if he beats himself he'll be scorned. And he's afraid of that, and he doesn't want to be in this lifestyle anymore. He doesn't want to just be this person. He feels as though that he was at his best with divine feminine, but he's wondering if it's too late to go back to her. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of conflicting emotions. One moment he doesn't want to go back to her, the next he does. And he's going between mind and heart right now. His heart is saying choose divine feminine. His mind is like saying you should move on. There's no point in returning to someone that is the product of their past. And divine masculine is just like, who do I listen to? I feel like again there's a lot of entities right now, so this is why I suggested entity clearing, because again this is getting through to the divine masculine. Divine masculine is awakening, yes, and he's learning how to listen to his intuition, yes, but I don't think he knows how to he still has discernment issues. And the next one is scroll medicine. So I'm seeing for divine masculine is that he's actually, I feel like he's going to take a large leap of faith in the future. It's going to be unplanned or orchestrated. It's going to be something so random that even the karmic cannot foresee it. And neither could you, divine feminine. But I feel like again, divine masculine just doesn't, he's just going to follow, he's going to follow his heart. Yes, I do see that. And I do see that he's on the path. But I feel like he's actually becoming closer and closer to actually reconciling with you, divine feminine. But I do see that he doesn't see that. So I feel like again he's trying to protect this relationship from the karmic and from any outside influences. So I do feel like again he is seeing your social media, and he is seeing that he is on the verge of losing you. And I feel like that infuriates him, because he thought you would probably wait around for him a lot longer, and he feels like you don't love him. And I do see for divine feminine that divine feminine does love him, but I feel like divine masculine is too triggered right now I feel like he feels abandoned by the divine feminine. And I feel like he's praying to the divine that, what exactly can I do? I don't know how to make up my mind right now. I don't know what I want, but I don't want her to move on. And he knows it's being selfish, but he just feels like divine feminine is the one for him. But I think, again, knowing that she's the one for him is what scares him in the first place. So I feel like one moment he wants this and one moment he doesn't. So I feel like he's flip-flopping. So he's being indecisive at the moment. And I do feel like this indecision will be cured momentarily. But I do feel like, again, divine masculine has to stop catering to other people and realize that he has to stand up for himself. The divine is given the answer many times, but he keeps on overthinking it. He keeps on favoring logic over heart. And the fact is, logic has not helped him in this moment. He's always used logic for the sake of others. He has now used logic for the sake of himself. And I feel like, again, he has disempowered himself to the point where he has to pull himself out of this situation. And he can heal himself, but he just refuses to. He feels like someone has to... He's too dependent on authority. He feels like someone needs to tell him what to do. But I also feel as though divine masculine is also... Yeah, he's a paradox, so to say. And the next card is the telling stories. So I feel like divine masculine is actually fantasizing about a life with you, where you have children. Even if he has children, he's thinking about bringing children in the fold. I feel like, again, if he's had children, I feel like he feels like divine feminine mind and not exactly like the idea of them having children. And I feel like he still wants to work through it anyway. So I feel like divine masculine is confident that once he figures things out, he's going to go toward divine feminine and show her that he is still the man she loved. But I feel like, again, divine masculine is actually shifting into chaser energy slowly but surely. He just doesn't want divine feminine to find happiness, that soulmate. He's threatened by him. I feel like, again, divine masculine does see him as a love rival. And I feel like his ego can't handle the fact that there's a love triangle. And he thinks it's better if he just removes himself from the equation and let divine feminine be happy. But he knows that he's always going to be focused on her. And I think that's what infuriates him even more. And what I am seeing for divine masculine is that, yeah, he doesn't want to think about this thing with the divine feminine. He feels like he has a secret life somehow with the karmic. He's like living a double life. He can't be who he is because he knows that the karmic will be upset. I feel like the karmic doesn't like... I feel like the divine masculine has shown the real him around the divine feminine. I'm a divine feminine, but he's tried that around the karmic, and the karmic has actually met him with scorn. So I feel like the divine masculine is still wearing a mask at the moment. He's pretending like he's happy, yeah, but I don't think he's that happy. I really don't. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, I feel like that he's probably bragging about being happy. I feel like that he's probably being a little bit more vocal on his social media statuses, probably showing out the karmic. I feel like, again, he wants to prove to the divine feminine that he does not love her. And I feel like, this divine masculine is like all over the place. I feel like he's fighting the divine. And I feel like he's going to have a very brutal ego death. Because I feel like that he's supposed to lose divine feminine. And I feel like as soon as divine feminine has things set with the soulmate, divine masculine will be forced to do the work. Because, again, this divine feminine has done the work. And she is, I feel like, again, the fact that he might have a family with someone else, well, that's actually unhinges him. I feel like he actually feels very possessive and jealous over the divine feminine right now. And he doesn't want to lose her to this person. And I also see candle magic. And I do see that the karmic has attempted to do black magic on the divine masculine to bend her to her will, but I feel like the divine masculine is aware of the black magic and has realized that I feel like the divine feminine may have warned him, and at first the divine masculine scoffed, but I think when the karmic put black magic again, the divine masculine is realizing that he is living a happy nightmare. So I feel like he's self-aware now. So I feel like the black magic is not going to work on him. He's pretending like it's working because, again, he wants to give the karmic the satisfaction that she is her puppet. And I feel like divine masculine is realizing that he can't keep this charade up. He's realizing that he would always have to play games, and it's not exactly about winning. It's about being himself. because if he chooses himself, he wins. So I feel like, again, there's like some sort of power struggle going on between the karmic and the divine masculine. I feel like the karmic is very unstable and very jealous over the divine feminine, even though the divine feminine hasn't exactly shown any interest. I feel that she may feel the need to target the divine feminine again to prove to the divine masculine that she is better. I feel like the karmic is very much an ego, very disconnected from the divine. And I do feel like, again, because she has made moves against the divine feminine is now being rewarded by the divine for staying true to the mission, while the karmic is actually, I feel like she's degenerated in the mind. I feel like she's becoming more and more crazy. And what I'm seeing for divine masculine is that he feels the need to be responsible over the karmic. But I feel like, again, the divine is having him actually realize that he is not responsible for the karmic. And he can't exactly hold on to this idea of a happy family because, again, divine masculine has his own journey. And the karmic and him are at the end. There's no need to preserve the situation anymore. And the last card is feasting. So what I am seeing for divine masculine is I feel like that his diet is changing. So I feel like divine masculine may have been eating a lot of meats in the past, but now he's not eating any meats anymore. I feel like he's actually eating more fruits, more vegetables. So I feel like he's worried about his health at the moment. Like worried about what exactly he puts in his body. And I do feel like, again, he is trying to just turn his life around. And he wants to actually be the provider. He wants to, I feel like, again, he feels like he doesn't know what divine feminine is doing. And I think that disturbs him. He wants to take care of divine feminine. And he knows that it's childish, but he just hopes that divine feminine would just realize that, that they're just being themselves. That I feel like, again, that is all I'm getting for divine masculine. So let's see what's going on with the connection. Santa Mertitera. So yeah, what is going on for the connection? I feel like both parties are actually finding abundance in a new way. This reunion is happening still, but it's very slow. It's going to happen in divine timing, so it's going to happen when you least expect it. So I feel like almost all the pieces are in play for and the divine is like saying, you know what? I feel like, again, the divine masculine is just learning to trust, like, step by step. I feel like he's blindfolded right now, and he's trying to walk a tightrope. But I feel like he's, again, making things difficult because of his own ego. And yeah, but I do see, again, both parties are actually just worried about their finances right now. And I feel like, again, next one is but there's also holding each other dear in their hearts. They're realizing that their bond cannot be broken by any other means that it's invisible. It's nothing could, no black magic, no manipulation. It's eternal. And I feel like, again, there are people who are trying to make sure that this union does not happen, such as the karmic. But I feel like, again, that it's going to happen regardless of whether what she's to manipulate. Because, again, both counterparts are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I feel like, again, both of them are just like, we're trying to get the other to submit to the other's will, but now they're just harming you now. Both, it seemed like both are falling apart, but there's like a sense of togetherness. So I feel like, again, I'm also seeing that both counterparts are also saying goodbye to lifestyles that no longer serve them. So I feel like, again, these lifestyles were very much materialistic, ego fueling, and now both counterparts want to live from the heart. They want to live life according to their own rules. And I'm seeing also that these own rules, yeah, they're making up their own rules, things that are in alignment with their belief systems. So I do see that both counterparts are disregarding society in their own ways, and I mean, the divine masculine is still behind the divine feminine, but I feel like the divine feminine is setting precedent for the divine masculine to follow. And the next one is the Three. So yeah, they're both also seeing the divine has brought them together for a reason. And of course, they might doubt the divine plan sometimes, but for divine masculine, yeah, he's seeing that there is a reason that this connection is his life, and he can't get over the divine feminine no matter how hard he tries. For divine feminine, she's realizing that divine masculine's actions are not a reflection of what she's doing wrong in the connection anymore. So I feel like, again, she's just realized the divine masculine is just ignorant, and there's really nothing she can do but have patience. So both counterparts are seeing it from a higher perspective about what the other is doing. So yeah, divine masculine is no longer worried about getting over divine feminine to no avail, and divine feminine is no longer worried about whether divine masculine's lack of coming forward doesn't mean that she's failing in her healing. So yeah, let's see what's going on with these message cards. It's easier to block everything out right now. I'd rather ignore my emotions. I love the way you make me feel, but I can't give you the same in return. I don't know. I can't be tied down right now. I have too many interests. I've been in my head about you constantly. Something or someone is standing between us right now. Please accept my apologies so that we can move past this. I should have, I could have, I would have. I won't stay for very long. I'm sorry. I'm upset and I need some time to cool down. I'm uneasy about myself. I don't know if I can truly make you happy. So yeah, that will be it. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you another time. Namaste.